What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. We got some special guests. We're about to do the meeting. What's up with y'all? Matt, what's up?
Yo, I'm good. How are you, Ego?
I'm good, man. We're ready to talk about it. Staccato Carter in the building.
Shit, good. Staying safe, staying out the way.
Hey, where you at? Where you based?
I'm in PA. I'm in PA.
Right on. Icy, what's up?
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. And we got Ari representing the East Coast.
How's it going, man? Just
Good.
chilling, getting ready for this boxing talk.
All right, I got to start it off. I want to ask y'all, pandemic, how's boxing been to y'all?
Boring. Very boring.
Have you seen?
Only thing that's been out is the top rank cards, and they ain't been putting on real good cards.
You haven't been feeling them?
Nah, not really.
Have you watched some of them or all of them?
Yeah, I watched most of them.
Wasn't your cup of tea?
Like, I watched like the Shakur fight. I had to watch that one because he's from the East Coast.
Yeah.
What was the one that was just on? Michaela Mayer. Ain't that her last name? Yeah, that one. Like, that one was all right. It wasn't that bad. But they ain't really been putting nobody together. It's like they trying to save their fighters until they get an audience.
It's solid. Yeah, they had a lot of like mishaps, like people failing with the COVID. Gerald Miller failed with the PED. There's been people who miss weight like crazy. There's like at least 2 weight. There's a guy, Brian Lua, his opponent missed weight. And then the other guy, he missed Miguel Mariaga's opponent. He missed weight by like almost 9 pounds.
Yeah, that dude wasn't even trying to make weight.
Yeah, in the little division, like, the 126s and stuff, 9 pounds is crazy.
Real crazy.
Matt, what are your thoughts on the matches since we've been in the pandemic since March?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what Staccato said. I was really down for. I'm from Newark, well, from East Orange, right next to Newark. So I was really interested to see what Shakur was doing. Other than that, I mean, Jared Anderson, that was a good look. Never heard about the dude before, but he kind of impressed in that first outing. That yesterday's fight was real trash. He knocked the dude out in like 1 minute. So other than that, nothing's memorable, man. I'm waiting for them big fights.
Ari?
I mean, they've been all right. I watched most of them. I didn't get to watch last night. I actually wanted to watch the Felix Verdejo. And I heard he put up a good performance. I didn't get to watch it though. I'll probably go back and watch it. But
first round knockout.
But they've been all right. They've been all right. Nothing really too exciting.
Real brother, what up?
Man, just sending out emails, doing my thing. How y'all feeling this morning, this afternoon?
Man, we just started post-pandemic, or we're in the pandemic, really. What are your thoughts on the matches, how boxing's been?
Actually, I believe that boxing is taking a back seat to see what some of the other major organizations have done. So in lieu of what's happened with the UFC and Fight Island and all the things they got going on out there, this is their prime opportunity to take back over the sport in which we all love, all right? Mm-hmm. Pay-per-view is still a viable model. The money's there. Everybody at home. I said it in previous live streams and Zoom calls that I wasn't going to a venue until 2022 or otherwise posted that this thing was done. And it doesn't look like COVID-19 is going anywhere anytime soon. So I believe that with the mega fights that are available, and most of them are PVC fights, but if some people are, willing to walk across the street and shake a hand or two, we could have some serious we could have some serious fights.
No, you don't have to be PG-13. It's not a Disney movie. You can cuss.
In the next 6 months, to a year, I believe boxing is going to surpass the UFC and all these other combat sports. Your boy just did an 18-hour live stream on my channel. We did a Call of Duty marathon.
18?
Ego Army came through. A lot of people came through. Salute all my people, man. Hey, it's your fucking fault, Ego, bro. I was good. Wow. I was sitting at home smoking my cigars and chilling. Ego issued post-pandemic, get out the house, do something, clean your basement challenge. Man, I went from 0 subs to 361, 365 right now. I'm pushing 1,000. I'm almost at my 4,000 watch hours.
All right.
I didn't know you had a channel.
All right.
I gotta add him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check me out, man.
Add him
Eagle
up.
family.
Everybody that's listening. Icy, thoughts on the matches since kind of the pandemic really became a factor?
I mean, I've been kind of checking them out. Like, I haven't watched every single one, but I like Shakur's card. I missed Emmanuel Navarrete's card. Unfortunately, I'm a big fan of Navarrete,
Your
but
audio
they've been. What's up?
Your audio was cutting low.
Does it sound better now?
Yeah.
A little bit too loud, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that the cards are. I mean, they're okay. They're not anything like special or anything like that, but
Okay.
you know, take what I get right now. I guess I'll take what I can get.
True.
Now, a fight that they're talking about is not finalized, but they're working on finalizing. Jermall Charlo versus Derevychenko. What are your thoughts on that one?
Fire.
Top fight.
I like
That's the best fight available, actually, and I'm very happy if they make that fight. I'd be so ecstatic.
Who said fire? I don't
Was
know.
me.
Oh, Carter.
Ari.
no,
Ari.
I didn't think
Oh,
I
Ari said.
like it.
I think that's a fire fight. I mean,
That's a really good fight.
I think we'll be able. I think we'll, if that gets made, it's definitely going to be the best fight put together. You know, post COVID, and that's going to be. I think that's an action-packed fight. Like I said, I think we'll see fireworks in that one. I actually think Charlo will be the first one to stop Derevychenko.
What you-
Good fucking point.
I like the card. I like it. I like that fight. But the thing about it is, though, if it does go through, Charlo is making Canelo, Triple G, and all them look bad because they will all duck them.
Exactly.
No, I agree with that. Like, I mean, especially if he fights like the likes of Quigley or Toriano Joe, whoever they're talking about him fighting, Charlo is taking on like a sizable challenge. I really
But
like
think about it. It looks bad because then not only did Canelo duck Charlo and Derevyanchenko, like he ducked both of them and they're fighting each other now.
Great point.
I think for Golden Boy and for Canelo it's embarrassing that if you notice when Canelo got stripped from the IBF because Golden Boy promotion couldn't come and negotiate a fight with Derevychenko, right? And then now he's in the middle of another fight with Derevychenko, right? He's negotiating a fight with Derevychenko, and then now Charlo swoops in and takes his opponent. So I think it's embarrassing that Canelo is being the face of boxing. You know, your team can't negotiate a fight with Derevychenko. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we have to re-examine the face of boxing, like I've said on the channel, just because how do you when has Floyd Mayweather had failed negotiations? Like where whoever hold on one second. When have we seen Floyd Mayweather have an option that he wanted to pursue and he couldn't land the fight? Like if he said he was fighting Maidana, the fight happened, right? If he said he was fighting Ricky or whatever, they always seem to work their magic and get the fight done. When have you guys seen a case where Floyd said he wanted to fight X, Y, and Z, and then he and his team couldn't get the fight done?
The Pacquiao. I mean, Pacquiao's the only fight where that
wasn't
through,
Floyd's
hoops
fault,
to get
though.
done.
Why you say that? I mean, I agree with you, but why you say that?
Because Manny didn't want to take the drug test. You could say, it wasn't that wasn't, a part of the rule set or whatever, that, like fights don't have to be Olympic style drug tested. But I mean, that's kind of the standard now. So look what Floyd did.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that was Floyd's fault. Like, I don't think that was a matter of Floyd's team couldn't get the fight done.
Like, that's not an unreasonable request to me. You know what I mean? Like, if
and
you
it
clean,
wasn't
just
for money. Like the Canelo fights, they seem to be falling apart because the opponent feels they're not getting offered the appropriate duck it.
Yeah,
You
it's always something financial. Like Floyd has never tried to like drain somebody or put a rehydration clause on them or pick them up off a quick turnaround or anything like that. It's nothing like that. Canelo has done this shit several times. So
I also think the fact that, you know, for example, when they offer these fights to possible Canelo opponents, I don't think that they could say, hey, you know what, we're going to make this fight and then we're going to give you a percentage of the pay-per-view buys, because there is no pay-per-view. You know, they're not on pay-per-view, which is crazy. But, you know, they wanted to say that, oh, pay-per-view is dead. Well, obviously not, because if Canelo was still on pay-per-view, you can offer an opponent a percentage of that, and let's say post-COVID, you could say, okay, we'll give you a percentage of the gates. But, you know, right now they can't do that. At least with the pay-per-view buys, you can't, because they're not on pay-per-view and they're suffering.
That's a strong point. I also feel that it actually, with Canelo and his team utilizing these strategies and strategic like negotiating tactics, the more Canelo's profile dips and dwindles, the harder it's going to be for them to use that, because we don't even know what Canelo's numbers are doing. We don't know if he's retained the star power. It doesn't seem like it, because DAZN hasn't really released the numbers. So it's like,
But then
how not everyone's not going to bend to your will in the negotiating table if you're not even doing the same numbers anymore.
it's not. I was thinking more of the fact that besides all the negotiating and not making the money they're supposed to, then he got all these extra stipulations. Oh, you gotta get weighed in the 10 minutes before the fight and make sure you ain't rehydrated over 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Weigh-ins and stuff. But that's what I'm saying. It's going to be harder to get away with that and press guys to do those things if you're not the same draw that you. People did it because Canelo was the perceived face of boxing. You see what I'm saying? So as the face of boxing, people were like, all right, I just got to do what he says. But if you're not doing the same numbers and your events aren't producing the same type of turnouts, and I know you can't have a crowd now with the pandemic, but I'm just saying if it's not doing the viewership or whatever, it's going to be harder to get guys to just bend and do all these little games and say they ain't weigh-ins and stipulations and stuff.
But I think Homie made a really good point though. Like, by going to DAZN, you really limited those options where you could offer somebody something else, right, in return. I think that was a really strong point, and I'm surprised that they didn't think about that before going into the DAZN contract. At that point, it was all about, hey, Canelo's going to make X dollars. He didn't care about what the opponent was going to make. And as you said, I think on a prior podcast, he's not even going to make that full amount because they're saying they can't afford it. So it's a lose-lose for me in Canelo. It's his legacy's messed up, his money's messed up. Honestly, it's going down with him.
Yeah, and there's a ESPN interview they did with the UFC's Jorge Masvidal, and he said you remember he had the standoff where he felt he wasn't getting what he was offered or what he wanted with the UFC, but he ended up taking the Usman fight because I just seen it. Who is that? Hey, if you guys can mute your audios, if you got a lot of background stuff going on. But Masvidal was saying on the ESPN interview, he was saying that he didn't initially get what he wanted to fight Usman, and what he ended up doing is betting on himself. He says they offered him a percentage of the pay-per-view with a lower guarantee. So with that lower, he said he was willing to take lower upfront money and bet that the pay-per-view would be a smash hit on UFC ESPN Plus pay-per-view, and it turned out to do over $1 million. So he ended up getting more money by betting on himself. And there's a situation, I don't know if you guys heard this, with Jason Weaver. He's a singer that did the Lion King Simba voice. Disney offered him a flat fee basically, and he did an interview, I think it was with DJ Vlad. They offered him flat money, and his parents had the wherewithal, because he was a kid, to say, no, we want the residuals. So Lion King is such a historic movie that he's been getting paid ever since the animated one came out. Do you see what I'm saying? As opposed to if Disney would have offered him the deal and he would have took it, he would have got a flat fee and that's it. They don't ever have to pay you again. So the movie was a smash, and it grossed all this additional money, and he was able to eat off that for years and years and years to this day. Versus if he took the flat fee, they would have paid him one lump sum and then pocketed everything else. So I think fighters are getting smarter. And Ari, you definitely had a great point with that. you can't incentivize someone with pay-per-view because DAZN doesn't do the pay-per-view. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I
The
said,
zone's failing.
yeah, like I said, I just think it's crazy that Golden Boy can't manage to negotiate a fight, to get Canelo a decent opponent. I think it's ridiculous, and it just keeps happening. So
yeah, I seen an interview with ESPN and Golden Boy, the president, and he said, "Oh, we're in a pandemic and this and the third." And I just ultimately feel like boxing fans don't really want to hear that. We're all in a pandemic together, and if they can negotiate Charlo and Derevychenko, hopefully, and fights like that, and the UFC can keep pumping out Usman, Jorge Masvidal with 6-day notice, then I don't feel like anyone's going to give Canelo a pass to not have at least a reasonable opponent. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to maintain. You just have to.
Especially if this fight gets made with Charlo Derby.
You like that, Icy? You like that fight?
Hell yeah. Everybody knows I like that fight. But especially he's going to have less.
You're saying it's going to make it look worse if
Hell yeah.
Why?
Because it's already being talked about being finalized. Nothing is set in stone yet. But Andre Rozier is talking about, that's the direction it's heading. Derby's ranked #1 with the WBC, and sources have come. People have been reporting saying the deal is almost done at this point. And Derby's been with PBC before, and Charlo's a PBC fighter. So, I don't like it. If that fight gets made, it's going to look even worse on Canelo's part. People could say, like, if they're going to try and spin it, and say, oh, well, yeah, like people, I've already seen it. They're saying Derevyanchenko duck Canelo for an easier fight at PBC, which is bullshit.
Derevychenko just did an interview, and he says, here, I'll pull it up. I have it saved. I'm glad you brought that up. You've heard people say that?
Yeah, but I've heard people get pissed off because Derby said that Charlo is a harder opponent than Canelo. He believes Charlo is.
So just so we're all in the clear, I don't know if you guys can see this. That's from the Boxing Insider.
It's backwards, Ego. What does it say? Sergey Derevyanchenko.
I'll read it. Sergey Derevyanchenko on supposed Canelo Alvarez showdown. Quote, Canelo, his side did not give me an offer. It was only talk. So how can we say that's that happened today? Because I was going to make
Wow.
That's the DAZN way. That's the DAZN way. You've exposed it. You've already exposed it. Like, yo, I guess Oscar been around Eddie Hearn too much, and you trying to say stuff, you putting stuff out there that ain't even true.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and for everyone that watches this video and thinks that Charlo turned down a Canelo offer, we've been said it. We said that that's not true. But just so y'all know, if you go to Charlo's Instagram right now on his post with him like at the batting cages or whatever, somebody asked him in the comments, because he said if I can't get Cinnamon, I'll just go to baseball. Whatever. He was joking. The point is, somebody asked him and said, "Didn't you turn down a fight already?" Charlo said, "That's cat. Like that's not true. He never denied no Canelo fight, nothing like that."
The only people that believe that's true are like old media, because Oscar De La Hoya did an interview and he said Charlo, we offered him a fight, but he never even said who he offered the fight to. And everybody
say we offered him a fight, and somebody on Charlo's team turned it down. Not Jermall, but somebody. Like what?
Everybody knows.
That's the same thing Eddie Hearn said about him and who was it? What's the other?
Android.
Yeah, Andre.
Choose Andre.
That's what I'm saying. Like everybody knows. People when people are losing the race or the PR battle, they start saying stuff like that. Everybody knows if you want to make a fight with the premier boxing champ, don't talk to the person's uncle, their cousin. You have to go through Al Heyman. I think
that's
knows
it.
So if you didn't go through Al Heyman, why would Oscar say we offered Charlo the fight and somebody turned down? You should be able to say Al Heyman turned it down, but you didn't go through
Hearn. Yeah, he didn't. Hearn, I think, is bullshitting, especially because, in my opinion, because Charlo even said that to him. He said that Eddie Hearn, sent him something on Instagram, emailed him or whatever. But then on the IG Live where Charlo got on with Hearn, he said, call Al Heyman. and Hearn made some dumbass joke. Oh, I thought you were your own boss, whatever. I think Hearn, and this is just my opinion. This is just speculation on my end, and I like Andre, but I think Hearn is bullshitting with that situation, especially because based on what Andre has said, oh, Charlo knows I'm under contract, meaning he probably can't fight on any other platform than DAZN. Hearn knows damn well that Charlo will be the A side in that situation, so he'll probably have to send Andre somewhere else where it wouldn't be profitable for DAZN or make as much money for Matchroom and shit like that. You feel me? So I think that's why he's like trying to make it seem like, oh, Charlo's ducking Andre or whatever the hell. I think it's strictly because of that.
I think
Eddie Hearn does the same thing as damn Oscar. He lowballs people. Just look at the damn back whenever Wilder was trying to fight Joshua, and he was trying to give him flat fee. Like, yo, come on now. That's the same thing he's trying to do with Charlo because you're on DAZN and you can't give him all the money he's making on the PBC.
Mm-hmm. But Charlo didn't accuse Hearn of that though. Charlo never accused Hearn of, because he said he sent an offer, but he didn't say that it was like, oh, it was like crumbs or anything like that. People have accused Hearn of that in the past, like Adrian Broner, whatever, when Hearn was trying to bring him to DAZN. But Charlo never said that. He said something else, but like the point is, you never know how much those dudes are making anyway. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is this: I feel like we're in 2020. People they care about the fights you can make. Like the thing that I think is hurting boxing is we're getting to an era where everybody wants to talk. Like all the negotiations are public. It's all on Twitter. Like we just care about the actual fights you can make. Like that's how I feel, at least. As far as new media, is like if you tried to make Charlo and Andre and failed, I don't really care because I don't get to see it.
Why are you talking about it if you ain't made it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you care? Like, let's say Chipotle, they said, oh, we were gonna come out with this new platter, new menu item, but it didn't work. It didn't work out. I mean, we wouldn't care if I can't order the Chipotle menu item. Then why do I care about? Oh, we were going to come out with these nachos, but we decided again. Like, I mean, we don't care about
it's like walking to a store, right? And you ask them if you could get a discount. Like if they had a sale, but the sale is over, and then they try to tell you about a sale that they just had or something.
Yeah, like
I can't.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that
this last week? It was 10% off.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same old story of why the UFC has been killing boxing for the last few years? I mean, it's the UFC puts on the fights people want to see, and for the most part, I mean, boxing, they all over the place, and a lot of it just has to do with not only the sanctioning bodies, but like you said, the promoters. Like Eddie Hearn, he's just out there capping. Like the only thing that DAZN's made is to make Eddie Hearn richer. I didn't know Eddie Hearn until DAZN, right? So it seems like all the marketing's around making Eddie Hearn the hot topic in boxing, not necessarily any of the boxers that are under him.
All in the videos, all in the back of the
Right, he's like Diddy from the 90s, right? Like Diddy was just the producer, but he had everybody videos. I mean, he's boxing Diddy.
Man.
I'll be right back. I gotta go on mute.
Even the fight in the streets, like what is that about? Like Eddie Hearn set up a street fight ring in the middle of the street.
And look, the thing ego about Eddie Hearn that has really been pissing me off and Golden Boy altogether. The first domino to fall in the Golden Boy house was Richard Schaefer. When he fucking started to move away from Golden Boy and he had that non-compete and he had to leave the company, their brand took a dump. Like and then they just hired some people real quick. They put a lot of yes men around Oscar. And now you see the result of that labor with Ryan Garcia and Cinnamon and with Canelo. What's happening right now is they're defecting from Golden Boy. They trying to move on because the money, they see these people from PBC, Earl Spence Jr. buying ranches and the Charlo brothers living in McMansions and stuff like that, and they're fighting regular fights, but good fights against great competition. Canelo been fighting garbage men from Canada and stuff like that. I mean, if you're the best, you fight the best. That's what Floyd did. He just made them look like they weren't the best. Now, in this other situation with Eddie Hearn, he makes these wish sandwiches. Like you put some mayonnaise on the bread, but ain't no meat in that bitch. You biting it, ain't no filler. What you eating? You wish you had some meat in that bitch. So my point is, like with Andre, you got all these situations popping up with all these fighters, But everybody on the DAZN side, it's a what if fight. He's in there talking about what if. Ego, you predicted this years ago. When this shit came out, go back and look at the video logs that you made. You have a diary, bro, a video diary cataloging everything that you talked about, and the shit is just, it's almost like you ego domus. Sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
out of
right.
it.
He do got a diary of it.
I'm telling
It
you.
even go back. No, it even go back to when he was talking about all the middleweights being over at the zone, but none of them motherfuckers is fighting each other.
Exactly. My
Well,
point.
160, 168, the zone has so much opportunity.
So much talent, bro.
To match, like, the only meaningful fight that the zone has made from the 160, 168 crew was Jacobs and Canelo. But you have Billy Joe Saunders, never fought Jacobs. Failed a drug test, never fought Andrade. Andrade never got Triple G. Andrade never got Canelo. How come Andrade has not got no big names that are assigned to the same stable as him on the zone? Can anyone answer that?
Can I
Andrade to the side.
Hold on, let me. You know what? Y'all saying this brings up a really good thing that I've been thinking about. I forgot,
Go.
but I've been thinking about for a while.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with the zone is I wonder what their approach will be when it's time for their prospects at 160, 168 or whatever to step up against some of these guys. Because imagine, you know, in a few years when like Emma Williams is ready for a title shot, or, you know, Lorenzo Truck Simpson, albeit saying like, you know, saying those guys are like in the position for those fights at that time. What are they going to do then? Like if they're on knockout streaks and all this shit and, you know, Triple G or Canelo. I mean, I don't think Triple G will still be around by the time that comes, depending on how long it takes for that to happen.
4 fights left with the zone. See, and that's
true,
thing.
yeah.
Triple G was signed to a 6-fight deal, and within his second fight, a lot of people feel he looked exposed or vulnerable versus Derevychenko. And
yeah, what are they going to do when it's time for their prospects to start?
The zone is witness protection. The zone is witness protection, for real. Like, they're over there hiding people. They don't want them to fight nobody they can give them a chance at losing.
I'm glad you said that. The funny thing is, that's what happens when you invest so heavily in singular fighter, like 15 mil with Golovkin, 36.5 per fight for Canelo. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that's a huge investment, as opposed to distributing the money a little bit more evenly. And then now, like, if Canelo loses, that will hurt the zone majorly. Because you see what happened when Joshua lost. I don't even hear about Joshua.
But see, that effect don't carry over to PBC. PBC has had stars.
That's because Al can bring it back.
From the, exactly.
And that's what Al does bring. He does bring you back.
Like,
look at how many times Broner lost. Look at how many times Broner lost, and then he got back into another good fight.
Relevant.
Or look at Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner lost to Mikey. He lost to Pacquiao, but his next fight will be more popping than some of the other people who might be undefeated.
But you know, let's say for example,
himself too.
let's say that Adrian Broner goes to 140, and he fights Regis Prograis. Adrian Broner is still the A side in that fight, even though his record is not as, let's say, is not the same as Regis, but he's still the A side. He's the money man, like you know, they said the other day. He's, you know, so, and I think that's a good fight.
That's a great fight. Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
I think.
But if you look at it, if you think about it, look at the PBC. A lot of the PBC fighters are black fighters that are outspoken. So they sell themselves. Either you like them or you hate them, but they sell themselves. A lot of people don't like the Charlos. A lot of people don't like Broner. Earl Spence is loved and he's hated. But you see what I'm saying? They all have a draw. They draw people in.
They're all interesting, colorful characters that have, you know, a little bit of their backstory. And when one of them loses, that kind of exposure shifts over to the next guy. Like, people have tried to make it seem like PBC is biased towards certain fighters and stuff like that, which, you know, I'm sure money, you know, sways certain things to be, you know, like if one guy is in a certain position, I'm sure that they're going to put, you know, certain precedence over him than another guy. But it's not so, like, the disparity is not so big to where it looks like they're just campaigning for this dude to win. When Charlo lost to Tony Harrison, they didn't continue to treat Jermall like he was the champion. Even though, in my opinion, I didn't think he fucking lost that fight.
I didn't think he lost that fight.
He lost that fight.
But Harrison was getting tons of exposure after that. And then he lost, and it went right back to Charlo. J-Rock became the man after he beat Hurd, and they had him all in the interviews and doing all type of shit. He was doing podcasts, whatever. He was treated like the champ.
What?
He got knocked out by Rosario, and now, Rosario can't speak
That's
English.
a fight I want to see too. That's a fight I want to see too. Rosario and Little Charlo.
Yeah.
That's going to be dope. But, Rosario can't really speak English, so there's a language barrier. But he has Rosario did not have a Wikipedia before the J-Rock fight. And now he has a fucking Wikipedia. And now he's doing interviews, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So PBC is...
And this is kind of picking back off of what you said, Icy. If you notice, like these let's say Latino fighters that don't speak English, it's actually harder for them. So you have Rosario as one example. Let's say you have Fortuna. Fortuna wants all the smoke. He'd be calling everybody out. He'll fight anyone. You know what I'm saying? But because he doesn't speak any English and he can't,
articulate.
Let's say be all in the videos.
Right.
It's hard for him to get the good fights. And, I'm actually glad that he got the Linares fight because I think that'll give him more exposure.
That's a good fight.
It is.
I think over at PBC, though, that's less of an issue because look at how Rigondeaux's been getting treated over there. He had the fight with Julio Ceja, which was dope. He had that one fight against that dude. Everyone said it was boring.
Bro, he was on the Wilder Fury
Rigondeaux's been getting treated real well.
Luis Ortiz.
Even better example.
Hold on. Luis Ortiz was signed to Golden Boy, and he never got a title shot. Then he went to Matchroom for a few fights, never got a title shot. Luis Ortiz, with no real momentum from Golden Boy or Matchroom promotion. Matchroom had him fighting Dave Allen and Malik Scott. Those are some of the worst Luis Ortiz fights. Like, they weren't, exciting. But then when he went to PBC, he got a title. He got 2 Wilder fights. One was on pay-per-view, and he got on the Wilder Fury undercard, knocked out Travis Kaufman. And you know what I'm saying? And it's been popping. Because he's been attached to bigger
fighter
cards. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's been attached to
and I want to go back to one of your video I seen earlier about the gloves and the cut man.
Oh, yeah.
That first fight, didn't he train in LA? Didn't Fury train in LA or somewhere? Okay, I was just making sure.
Did.
He wasn't even in Vegas.
That's a whole nother set. Yeah,
that's a whole nother video. That's about 3 more videos.
Yeah, real brother. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, we gotta go with that one.
I think the PBC, the fact that they can bring fighters back, like we're in the Mayweather. Mayweather's the biggest fighter of this generation, so people look at the perfected and blemish-free record, but that's not the reality for most guys. Most guys aren't good enough to go their whole career without taking an L. But I think the PBC has done the best job of not scrapping a fighter once he takes a loss. Like, even Top Rank, they had the Isaac Dogbe. He had a little bit of traction. But after he lost to Navarrete, I don't even hear about Dogbe anymore.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Or, hold on.
Did he fight yesterday?
Dogbe?
He's supposed to fight sometime soon.
Yeah, he's supposed to fight soon, yeah.
He had a little bit of traction, but then when he took those losses, it's just like, where have you been? Or here's an even equal example. Nicholas Walters. Where the fuck is he?
He retired.
He went to Florida and married his girl and had kids.
He Keith Thurman? He
did a Keith Thurman. He got married, had kids, and moved to Florida, man. He was done.
Even like Magdaleno, Top Rank just put him on the main event, but after he lost, you didn't really hear from Magdaleno for a minute. But like some of the fighters on PBC, like
wait, which one? Jesse or Vincent?
The one that lost. Yeah. The one that was
I'm thinking, now that I think about it, what you're saying, it all makes sense. But think about it, like
no, the one that fought Teofimo you're talking about?
No. The one that
Top Rank, a Golden Boy and Matchroom, they protect certain people. Like, and that's what they do. If you the rest of them, if you get your own traction from winning and you lose, you like they was never backing you that much anyway. Because look at it. We already talked about who Matchroom got, who Golden Boy got, but then Top Rank, they push Shakur, Crawford, Lomo, Tiafimo, and now Fury. That's it. Them is the ones they push the most.
They don't even push Crawford though. I mean, like I think there's just I think all the, especially Top Rank, match room, rematch room, they just have poor marketing skills. Because like,
say that again.
Floyd, you know, one thing I say about Floyd, when it was time for a Floyd fight, you had 24/7, you had different ads. They'd be on buses. Oh, they'd be on, my shit fucked up. They'd be on buses. They'd be on all types of shit. Now you don't really even have that. Like, you don't got none of that. Like, it's just like, hey, some display ads on your Google. That's about it.
That's true. The marketing, especially in this modern generation, it means something. That's why I think Ryan Garcia deserves to get more than 200K, because there's other people who are surpassing that paycheck wise, and they don't do any promote. Like, how's Triple? Just explain this. I know Ryan Garcia rubs some people the wrong way, but how is he worth 200K and he's doing all this stuff to market himself and brand himself? And Triple G fought Steve Rolls, so people are saying Ryan ain't fought nobody. But Triple G fought Steve Rolls, and they said he got 15 million on the same platform, DAZN.
Yeah,
how does that make sense?
Even Steve Rolls got 300,000 for that fight. So how does Steve Rolls get more money than Ryan Garcia?
Did he? I didn't remember.
Yeah, he got like 300,000 for that fight.
Yeah, look.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big Ryan fan, but Ryan has star power. Power. Like, yo, point blank, period. Like, yo, but they don't want to do what they're supposed to do. And that's why he just need to, I feel like he need to go over to the PBC and make his money.
Yeah, because you even see, like, now you got old media talking about, well, we haven't seen Ryan fight anybody.
There are killers waiting for Ryan at PBC though.
But it's not even about that. He's about to surpass Canelo in followers, right? He can make money. He could become a movie star or whatever, but he can bring fans that don't necessarily watch boxing to a pay-per-view.
True.
So I think that's what he brings. He's gonna bring those girls, those screaming little girls that are like, yo, daddy, buy this pay-per-view so I can watch Ryan. And they're like, all right, fine, then I'm gonna just watch Ryan. Maybe he wins, maybe he loses. I don't know. But I think he has the potential to be that De La Hoya. And that's what boxing needs, right? They need that next star, because Canelo, you got the English barrier, you got that he don't want to do no marketing. He's like, I just want to show up at the fight and everybody's gonna come to me. So I mean, I think we need a Ryan. We need a Gervonta Davis. We need the guys who actually are out there promoting themselves and trying to kind of grow the sport.
Mike from Boston hates Ryan. No, I'm just playing, but he's shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head, Mike?
I just was gonna say fuck Ryan Garcia. That's what
Why you say? I was watching him. He was shaking his head. Why you say that, Ryan?
Even I don't feel that way.
I don't like him, man. I don't like him. I've heard him talk. He's cocky as hell. He runs his fucking mouth. He had a whole interview calling Gervonta Davis a bitch, talking about, oh, he's one of those East Coast fighters we never hear about. He gets beat in the amateurs.
Tank could knock his ass out.
I want to see him get just fucking annihilated by Tank.
But Mike,
I mean, I don't know.
That was Floyd's game, right? Like, just kind of talk shit about somebody.
Hold on, y'all.
Give me one second. So, Mike, would you pay to watch Ryan Garcia get knocked the fuck out?
Fuck yeah.
Exactly. So that's my point. Like, Ryan Garcia he rubs some people the wrong way. A lot of people love him. And then he also has the casual fans that don't really watch boxing that will come to watch his fight. So he has that audience.
No, I agree with you. I just wanted to interject how much I dislike that kid.
Ryan Garcia is the Conor McGregor of boxing.
Mike, I was just watching his facial expression. It was hilarious, bro. No, I like Ryan. I feel like that's just his brand. I don't like the clout chasing as much. Like, Oscar's not putting Ryan in with no damn Gervonta Davis, no matter how much he may want it as a fighter. Oscar has an interview where he said, no, Tank's a beast, so he's not going to put him in there with that. So I don't particularly care for the clout chasing and he has a YouTube channel. He put like a pillow under his stomach and he said, hey, I'm Tank Davis. I'm overweight or something like that. Like to me, you know, you're not gonna fight him. So like, or your promoter won't put you in there with him. So
You
I
know,
can feel
he
that,
know,
but
he seen that Red Cash sparring. He don't want none of that.
that Red Cash stuff look crazy. What y'all think about that?
Tank a beast. Yo, Tank a
Shit was
beast. Yo.
animal.
He just destroyed that dude.
Bro, that
That
boy
shit was
hit.
animalistic, man.
He hits hard.
That shit was funny as hell.
Bro, I talked to his people in Baltimore, and this is a true story. I got the video. It's on my channel somewhere. His coach, who's been with him since he was a kid, he said he sparred and he's seen Tank hurt heavyweights. So I'm assuming it's not going to be like Joshua Wilder type people, but still like a 200+ pound man. And he said, I said, are you serious? He said, bro, yes. I was like, damn.
That boy hits hard.
Yeah.
And
I like, actually, that's what I like about Charlo and Tank. They look like they want to, both of the Charlos and Tank, when they throwing, they look like they trying to take you out this.
Earl too.
Oh,
EJ.
Yeah.
Yo, no, bro. Arrow is like the first time I seen Arrow fight was because I heard about him, but the first time I really sat down and watched the Errol Spence fight was the Lamont Peterson fight, and I went to somebody's house, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and Arrow is getting hit by Peterson and shit, you know, and beating up on him, and this motherfucker was smiling at him, and I was like, there's something wrong with this nigga, bro. He's not normal.
I watched that fight too. No,
somebody hit the mute.
Oh, who the hell? No, I watched that fight too. His punching precision in that fight was, oh my god. But he wanted,
I see you was late to the party. I was watching Arrow like back in the day, and like if you watch his fight, I gave him respect for the Chris Algieri performance, even though Algieri wasn't necessarily at the time known as like the world beater. Pacquiao couldn't stop Algieri, even though he knocked him down. And Ruslan Provodnikov, another monstrous puncher, didn't stop Algieri, and Arrow chewed him up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, that's like,
yeah. I would say I didn't become like a hardcore boxing. Like even though I was boxing since I was like 17, I didn't really become like a hardcore fan of the sport until I was like, till maybe like 3 years ago. So I was like 19 is when I started. Yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, hey, better late than never. Because honestly, I know way more now than motherfuckers twice my age and people who've supposedly been in it longer than me. You know what I'm saying? That they try to assert their bullshit as narratives, and I'm like, this, but you're not. It's wrong. It's bullshit. You'd be surprised.
I'm gonna get back to the Charlo Derevychenko fight. So everyone thinks that's a solid fight, good fight.
I think
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's get into some predictions. Anybody picking Derevychenko to beat Charlo?
Negative.
Mike,
Mike he was.
I'm picking him.
Okay. Man, it's a hell of a fight. See, I like fights like that because now, if you look at it, because I seen old media trying to hate on the fight and say like, oh, Derevychenko might not be the same since Triple G and stuff. What are you talking about? Like, I thought Derevychenko beat Triple G. Who
already trying to take.
Who feels Derevychenko didn't beat Triple G? Anybody? You guys can speak your mind. Did anyone?
It wasn't even close. He whooped his ass. I didn't give Triple G more than 3 rounds.
No,
I'm so serious.
If you had the knockdown, it was close. Triple G lost. I don't want to say he got it.
Hell no. 4 rounds is pushing it. Triple G did not win that shit.
I mean,
Triple G lost that fight, and he did. That's why he didn't want to fight him, and he fought. What was it? Matarostin instead of fighting him before.
Yeah, that's true.
I gave Triple G 5 rounds. It's like,
I thought Triple G looked after the knockdown. It was kind of like the Jacobs, but the difference is Derevychenko was in his face all night. Jacobs did better in the set, like as the fight after the knockdown, and so did Derevychenko. But the thing is, Derevychenko was like a gnat, and Triple G's style, he doesn't like somebody all in his shit. He's used to guys respecting his power and like.
Triple G looked uncomfortable the whole night. The fight, he looked uncomfortable.
Look, that sixth round, I think it was, when Derevychenko hit him with that body shot, and then came at him, and then the referee stopped it. Like, I think Triple G was going down at that point. He was getting beat. When he got hit with that body shot, he was like, "Oh, hold on," and then he kept coming, and then the ref stops it. Like, the fuck is he doing?
The only thing I'll give credit to Triple G here, he has heart. Triple G for sure has heart because he was hurt in that with the round you talking about.
He has heart, but Triple G is used to walking people down. He don't like people. He don't like people all in his face the whole fight.
Walking his ass down.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he don't like it.
But I give him credit for having heart to be in there because he could have at that point. The Derevychenko started getting rough. You know what I'm saying? And he stayed in there. So
yeah, Derby was bleeding from like a cut, wasn't he?
Yeah, early. I don't know how much.
Oh, yeah,
at 38. I don't know how many wars like that Triple G has in him left. You know what I'm saying?
He went through two fights with Canelo, and I thought he won the first one, so I got to give him respect for that fight. But you know, the damage that he took over those 24 rounds against Canelo, you know, that takes a lot out of a guy when he's 37, 38 years old. So, I mean, I'm surprised he has anything left, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, that, you know, not a lot of guys could go through that.
I agree. I don't think.
Well, all right. Well, here's why. Okay. I mean, I agree and I disagree because what the fuck was Triple G doing before he fought Kell Brook and Jacobs and Canelo?
He wasn't really fighting.
Exactly.
Triple G has a lot of amateur fights, so he has a lot of wear and tear in his body. So that I agree with Mike. The two Canelo fights plus a long amateur career, he has a lot of mileage on him. You see what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't fighting the premier names, bro. You don't have how you have 350 fights and not have a lot of miles on you.
I'm not saying he don't, but
you're saying he's in good shape.
Like, I don't know. I don't think.
I mean, he's 38 years old now. Like his career his best days are way behind him.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think that's just due to age, though. I think that's the fact that one, he don't stay in shape between fights, and I think Triple G, like, I don't think all of a sudden he just aged overnight. I've said this before. I think when he stepped up in competition is when, you know, he looked vulnerable, and then all of a sudden people start saying Triple G look old. I think that's bullshit. I think
I agree with that. That's an excuse. People make an excuse.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of different things. To be honest.
I mean, but he did. I mean, I thought he looked good in the first Canelo fight. I thought he won. Canelo is a hell of a fighter. So I mean, I just say I give him credit for that performance and the fact that I think, you know, that he did legitimately win that fight. So, you know, he may have he looks terrible now, but I mean, I like Ego said, it's a combination of everything. You take the long career, the amateurs, you know, the damage that he's always been known for having a chin. How many times he must have gotten hit with, you know, he's been hit in the face. I mean, after a period of time, it's got to accumulate, and you know, he's just not going to be the same.
Yeah, I think going back to that Derevychenko point, while I want Charlo to win the fight, if Derevychenko is a decent underdog, I'd probably put money on Derevychenko to win that.
It wouldn't be bad. I mean, Derevychenko's no slouch. So, listen, I love fights like this because you can make the argument for either guy, surely. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain fights, like, for me, this is just my personal opinion. When people were saying Mikey Garcia was going to beat Errol Spence, I was like, I don't get that. I like Mikey, but I don't see how he's going to beat Errol Spence. But Derevychenko versus Charlo, I feel like you can make it. I think Charlo stops him, but I think I wouldn't be mad at anyone for picking whoever you pick in that fight.
Because people will never be satisfied with Charlo's level of competition. And I'm saying this, I mean, like, we can all say that at this point, I feel like, but I'm saying it especially because I was looking at the Jorge Sebastian Highland fight highlights earlier today, and people in the comments are talking about, oh, bums after bums, blah, blah, blah. Like back when those videos were posted, like the weigh-ins and shit. So not new comments, but like older comments and shit. And in my head, I was like, wasn't his previous fight like Julian J. Rod Williams right before Jorge Highland?
Yeah, I don't even get it. That's old media shit because at the end of the day, the WBC told him he had to fight those people.
They're gonna find some way to discredit him, whether he beats Derby and.
Well, they're trying to build that, but I mean, I'm giving whoever wins that fight credit.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Sorry, what was that, Mike?
I was just going to say the odds, I believe, are 3-1 in favor of Charlo. So if you bet on Derevychenko and he wins, whoever it was that said that they were going to put money on the fight. But again, I believe it's 50-50. It could go either way. But I just give Derevychenko the edge because of what I've seen him do against better competition. But I mean, literally, I wouldn't be surprised who wins that fight. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to that fight.
I like the fight better than Canelo based on the fact that Derevychenko doesn't have to move to 68 and deal with like weight stipulations, rehydration clauses. This is Derevychenko.
And the judges.
That too. Derevychenko's more natural, where his best work has been against 160 pounders, not 68 pounders. So me personally, I like it better than if he were to fight Canelo at 168. So.
Is Canelo ever moving back down? Like, he's still got 160-pound titles.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he been stripped all that?
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't defended his 168-pound title, and he still has that. When was the Rocky Fielding fight? December?
Last year.
That was a long time ago.
A while ago.
And he's holding all that hostage, to be honest. So
Canelo's not gonna go back down to 160 as long as them dogs is calling him out.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes to 160, he would be pressured to fight Charlo or Andre. So I don't see that.
The thing is, those guys are gonna eventually move up to 68. So he's gonna have to fight them eventually.
There's dogs at 68. There's dogs at 68 because Benavidez. I think Benavidez might give a work.
Oh, so you got Caleb Plant, you got Benavidez there.
Caleb Plant, yeah.
And then you're gonna have Charlo say he'll move if he can't get the fights at 60, he'll move up to 68. Andre said the same thing. I'll move up to 68 and fight Canelo. The problem is they're not getting those offers.
Yeah, I don't see why he doesn't drop his 160-pound because he dropped the 175-pound belt already. So he should just stay at 68 because that seems to be where he's going to fight at 168.
He didn't want to. He dropped 175 because he ain't want to see Better BF.
Yeah, they got dogs up there too. There's dogs everywhere. He just gonna fight bums from 160 to 175 and just call it a day.
Think about it. To me, Charlo when he was 154, he looked huge. At 160, he still looked big. So him going up to 68 don't seem like it's too much of a stretch. His brother
Charlo walks around at 174.
The little Charlo look like he need to go up to 160.
Yeah, they're like 6 feet tall, both of them, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, Jermall is 5'10". So 5'10", 5'11". So he's 2 inches shorter than Jermall, which is weird for identical.
Yeah, one's like 6'1" and the other one was like 5'11". Yeah,
6'1" is big, so he could definitely fight 168.
That's Caleb Plant's height. Yeah, that's an inch shorter than Benavidez.
My thing is this:
like 6'2".
When there's certain fighters pitted against Canelo Alvarez, people say that they don't deserve it. Like if you ever mention to old media that Canelo needs to fight Charlo or Andre, people have all these excuses. They have to go through this gauntlet of fights. Oh, Charlo got to fight Jacobs first to get Canelo. But then how is Jason Quigley a finalist and he just got knocked out last fight or 2 fights ago or whatever? He got knocked out
2 fights ago.
Well, now the new narrative for the Cinnabons is, oh, well, Charlo already declined an offer, which we know is bullshit, but that's what they're going to fall back on.
I just feel like you could see a clear double standard when it comes to Canelo being pitted against like Andrade or Charlo. They say that Charlo got to fight Jacobs or Charlo got to fight Andrade to prove his worthiness, but Toriano Johnson, Quigley, Ryder, they don't have to do nothing.
Let's keep it a whole buck. Cinnamon hasn't fought any black fighter that's like that since he fought and lost to Floyd.
Mayweather, yeah.
He does not like that style. He does not like the black fighter style.
What about Jacob? That's what old media was saying.
He didn't like that.
Jacob's still kind of flat-footed though.
Jacobs had to go through 4 undefeated fighters in a row. One of which was his stablemate just to even be in the conversation. So Canelo didn't fight him when he was looking, like the man and shit. He waited until Jacobs was looking like he had some trouble.
You know what kills me about old media too with the whole Canelo situation is how do you have a fighter who hails from Mexico and he says he wants to fight on the Mexican dates in Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day, but then when it comes to fights that would be bigger in America where he wants to fight and like against Hispanic fighters, he says he doesn't want to fight a Mexican fighter. That's what Canelo and his team said. Like I think David Benavidez, if you put Canelo and David Benavidez, you could do numbers in Texas. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can go to the AT&T Stadium and do crazy numbers, Mexican dates, a Mexican-American, a Mexican fighter, and Canelo, how is that not the thing? Or even Jordan Ramirez.
To me, it sounds like Canelo is ducking, man. He been ducking the whole time. He don't want that Benavidez smoke. He don't want them Charlo brothers smoke. He just maneuvering like chess pieces. He only wants to play checkers when it comes to certain people. But when he been in that high-class chess match, he don't want to get in the game. He don't want to fight them boys, man.
What's the most disappointing thing about the whole Canelo situation is Canelo could fucking fight. He could scrap.
Yeah,
and I think if you look, I think if you put him in there with Charlo, I think that's a 50-50 fight. You put him in there with Benavidez, that could be 50-50. I think if you put him in there, let's say with Andre, that's a good fight. Derevychenko, that's a good fight. These are good fights, and I think Canelo can hold his own. I think the experience that he has, he could hold his own. That's the unfortunate part. But it's like his team doesn't have confidence in putting him against these guys.
Nah, man, Floyd hurt him so bad in that fight. He beat him so bad. That was just he schooled him so bad. Not that he beat him up, but he schooled him so bad. He's still scared. That's basically it.
Well,
he's still scared to fight.
Right,
yeah, but you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that Floyd is in a whole different level. You can't compare. Listen, these guys are talented. I'm not gonna take anything away from any of them, but Floyd was just a whole different beast.
But I think
you can't go by that.
I think Ego said it though. He's not fighting any boxer, black, white, or other, that has any bounce in their step. Like they're all flat-footed. They're all flat-footed fighters who fought since Floyd. Right? Yeah, he's like, I'm fighting all of them.
I think Canelo, he's from Mexico, but he has kind of an American-ish style. Like he learned from the Mayweather loss. It got better, stuff like that. So he has more of an American style, like a Mexican, like a style from Mexico integrated with the American style. He has some slickness, some defense, overall game. He doesn't want to fight other people that have that similar game. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy offense. Yeah. Like David Benavidez has a crazy offensive game. He has crazy punch selection. So does Canelo.
And a bunch of size.
Guys like Charlo and Andre, they have a complete skill set. He's not like John Ryder. He has 5 losses. He's solid. He's rugged, but he doesn't have like Charlo level dog in him from what we've seen. You know what I'm saying?
I also don't think it's all on Canelo, because think about it. You put Canelo in there with one of them, and that $365 million that you gave him, if he loses, that was a bad investment.
Yeah, but I have to blame Canelo too, because they say he makes the final decisions.
Oh, okay.
That's what they say. So I mean, they're all kind of complicit in the career. Like, because
it's true though. Like, because he said he didn't want to fight Andre because Andre is a boring fighter. He said he doesn't want to fight Mexican fighters. So
he said he doesn't want to fight Willie Monroe in the past because he was too boring. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's all one unit to me. So I can't exclude Canelo from the conversation. And the other thing is, can you imagine if, let's say, Al Heyman was telling Floyd to fight Quigley, and then the whole world was ridiculing Floyd? Floyd would be like, I ain't fighting no fucking Quigley. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put your foot down. Mm-hmm. When Lada hopped on the stage and embarrassed Canelo had been called out by Lada for over a year and a half, but that was the breaking point. So I think Canelo, even if this is Golden Boy or DAZN with the investment, Canelo being the star that he is, he could break the cycle right here by saying, I ain't fighting no Quigley. You got to give me some better work. You got to give me Charlo, David Benavidez, whoever's going to, have me not ridiculed in the public eye because of my choices.
If I remember correctly, Oscar didn't want to fight Lara. From
That
what I
is true. He said it on
That's
tape.
true.
Mike with the
But
fact check. Yep.
but Oscar
I
said
think
he needed to fight. He needed to fight Charlo, and he needed to fight Andre for his legacy. So I mean, Oscar would make the fight. At least that's what he said maybe a year ago.
But Oscar also let him go from 160 up to 168 to fight Rocky Fielding, and then go up to 175 and fight Kovalev on a short turnaround.
And see, this is the other thing that you have to look at is similarity is Ryan Garcia. The way Ryan's talking, people got to see it. He's talking about Tank. That's like the top of the totem pole in people's eyes. People got to see him at least fight a Jorge Linares, a Javier Fortuna. None of these fights are happening. Hopefully,
What happens?
the Luke Campbell fight happens. But it's
no,
like
who was he calling out? The other one, that was on PBC, that was on the show. What's his fucking name?
Modest.
Yeah, like where's that fight? That's a solid fight.
Yeah, that'd be a really good fight.
But it's like those fights haven't happened.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with the whole Ryan situation, at least he's like, okay, these are the fights that I want. These are the fights that I want. And it's Golden Boy is them like keeping him from those fights happening. You know, the Modest fight should have been made. Okay, it didn't happen. Then, you know, when I heard that, you know, Javier Fortuna was in negotiations, like where he accepted the fight, because he even tweeted out that he accepted all the terms that the Golden Boy has sent. He agreed to everything, and then Ryan Garcia, he declined it. Supposedly his team declined it. But then when there were talks of Ryan Garcia fighting Luke Campbell, you know, Ryan Garcia tweeted out, "Oh, I finally get a southpaw," you know, the whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but Javier Fortuna was a southpaw. Why didn't you fight him? And he agreed to all the terms.
Mm-hmm. Good point, Ari.
Yeah, I think ultimately with social media and new media and stuff like that, 2020, people just want to see the prime content. Like that's all we care about is the matchups, the fights you can make, what you can do. You know, that's what's gonna help your platform at this point. And I feel like every fight doesn't have to be colossal, but you look at some of the like DAZN fights that they put on. How many of Golovkin's fights would you have requested that he's fought on DAZN? Would you have picked Steve Rolls or Camille Sesmeta?
No.
You know, even the Derevychenko fight was good, but I don't know if that was anybody's first choice to see Triple G. People want to see Triple G, Andrade, or Charlo. I don't know if Derevychenko would have been the first choice.
Derevychenko was coming off a loss too, wasn't he, at that point?
From Jacobs. No, because he beat Jack Kukale. Yeah, he fought Kukale. So
in recent memory, in his last 3 fights, he had a loss. You know what I'm saying? So it's like same thing with Canelo. Out of Canelo's whole DAZN stretch, what fight would you have been your number one choice for Canelo? He fought Rocky Fielding, Jacobs, Kovalev.
Andre.
He's not fighting Andre though.
I mean, I'm just saying, if we could have made that fight.
Yeah, that would have been great, but they acting like Andre's Casper the Friendly Ghost. They're not making it. So I don't know. I just
What do you guys think? What do you guys think if they make the Canelo with Callum Smith?
I think it's better than the options, but he's still the timing is bad, just like the Billy Joe Saunders.
Smith lost to Ryder, in my opinion. So
that's what I'm saying. So the time, I do think it's better than Quigley or Toriano Johnson, for sure, and it'll consolidate the belts. But Canelo, my thing is this: when will Canelo fight someone like Floyd did? Floyd fought guys coming off their best wins, undefeated. Ricky Hatton undefeated when Floyd fought him. Canelo was undefeated when Floyd fought him. Pacquiao was on a win streak. Maidana had just upset Broner. Shane Mosley had just knocked out a Granite Chin Margarito. Victor Ortiz had just beat up Berto and beat him in an upset. You see what I'm saying? So Cotto had just avenged his first ever loss to Margarito and, you know, kind of pushed him towards retirement. So all these guys were coming off sensational wins or undefeated, you know, and Floyd don't get credit for that. When has Canelo fought someone like Shane Mosley coming off a Margarito win? Like where they look crazy good. You see what I'm saying? Like Better Biev looked crazy versus Vodstick. He was walking through everything Vodstick had. Then Canelo drops the belt. He don't fight Better Biev coming off that performance.
He's going to ruin his legacy by doing this, by not fighting anyone. I mean, he needs to step up, or he's going to lose.
Like,
Everything.
Or even
I don't care.
Benavidez. Benavidez stopped Darrell. No one has stopped Darrell before. So that's a solid, real good performance.
If Canelo really wanted to solidify his legacy, it don't matter what weight class he like. If he stayed at 60 or 68, there's a damn line of murders you could go through. There's a line of them in a row.
That's true. So it's just a decision-making process. You know, he got to fight the name. I mean, I think the same could be said for Triple G. Like, Camille says meta. Like, what does that do? I don't even know who that is. Like, I watch boxing.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Real brother, you don't know him?
I don't know. I have never heard of this guy. I had to go to Boxing Rec and look him up, and I'm still as confused as I was when you said that they were.
I'll look him up right now.
Yeah,
I looked him up, but I don't know who he is. Like,
and this goes all the way back to the zone. Just like, how'd you guarantee these dudes hundreds of millions of dollars, but not guarantee that they fight the best? Like, you're just saying they can go fight anybody for $350 million. Like, how you? I don't understand it.
Yeah, like how did the zone give all that money away and they have no say of who these guys fight? That's crazy.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of this
because rematch rooms. Eddie Hearn said pay-per-view is dead.
No, that's cap, bro. That is not.
No, that's why he said pay-per-view is dead. He was supposed to get all the American fighters over on the zone, and none of them went.
But see none of them. So DAZN, Eddie Hearn did an interview and said they could see DAZN pay. Now he's saying that he could see DAZN pay-per-view. What? I thought pay-per-view was dead. What do you guys think about DAZN pay-per-view then?
What?
That doesn't
I didn't pay for that in the first place.
Oh, y'all didn't hear about that?
That was a joke.
Y'all didn't hear about that?
That got to be a fucking joke.
No, bro.
Yeah, no.
So here, listen, look.
He did an interview with the Athletic. Let me inform people, and then you guys can jump in. He did an interview with the Athletic, Eddie Hearn, and he says we may have to go DAZN pay-per-view for some of the bigger fights like Joshua Fury or whatever. After saying pay-per-view was dead and Showtime Boxing is going to get put out of business and all that. So how do you just switch?
First thing that pops in my head. Go ahead.
Go ahead, real brother.
I was just gonna say bye pay-per-view, huh? Full of shit. Go ahead, Ari.
Here's the thing. Now, is the zone really? Are they really gonna try to charge, let's say, $20 a month, and then on top of that, charge you pay-per-view money?
I was wondering that. I was wondering that same. I don't even know.
How you gonna make that work? I mean, that makes no sense. So you're gonna $20 a month, and let's say they want to charge you $60 for a fight or $80 for a fight. Like, they got to be crazy.
Or what about the people even worse? What if you gave them $100 for the year, and then it's a DAZN pay-per-view? So you paid $100 plus $70. You paid $170 for the year plus the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know how that would work, bro.
Man.
I don't know. But see, that's why you don't. I feel like you don't turn your back on something like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Pay-per-view's always been what's worked for combat sports, the bigger fights. So you come in the game trying to innovate too much.
Money. That's it.
Icy. What'd you have to say, Icy?
Oh no, I was just because it sounded like everybody didn't hear about the Eddie Hearn saying that there's no pay-per-view thing. So yeah, cause I had seen it and then I sent it to you, and I was like, bro, you predicted all this shit.
Man,
but it's because the business got to make sense. You can't. Okay, and the other thing, like let's say Canelo. This is why the business model seemed flawed to me with DAZN. How are you gonna pay Canelo almost $40 million, and then pay his opponent Danny Jacobs $12 million, and then Kovalev $12 million? That's like a $50 million fight in 2 fights. That's $100 million. And then Kovalev gets knocked the hell out. His stock drops, but you already gave him $12 million. And then now you have to host his next couple of fights instead of sending them back to ESPN. It's like you just stuck with the bill. Like Golovkin fighting Steve Rolls. And then that's why I think they're having so much difficulty. They promised Canelo so much money that they have to lowball the opponents. You see what I'm saying? And off the opponent's peanuts to pay Canelo's salary, he just can't hog that much of the budget for these fights that don't generate that much interest. So you have to get quickly for the low. You know what I mean?
But another thing is, you give Canelo all this money, but then you don't promote his fights. His last fight with versus Kovalev, there was no promotion, and then they had to wait around for the UFC event to be over, and then on top of that, you play the UFC fight at your venue that you're hosting a Canelo fight.
And you have Bellator, the rival company in the MMA, on DAZN. So it's like that's like going to a Coca-Cola Christmas party and they serving Pepsis. Like what? Who does that?
Man.
Carter, you not feeling that, Carter? And then now Eddie Hearn doing street fights. But about that
street fight shit. He just, I hope he looked at the weather. How you put a fucking ring in the street? What if it rained?
Nah, the weather is supposed to be hot. I looked that up. Bro, because I was like,
okay, Ego. Here's the thing, right? So
you're in Oklahoma.
So you got Eddie Hearn who trying to put fights in his backyard. Then
not trying. He is putting them in
the backyard, bro.
Hold on. So he's putting on fights in his backyard. Then he wants to put fights in the streets of USA. Then you got Golden Boy wants to put a fight at Alcatraz.
Dang.
Or Mount Rushmore. That means they're running out of money. I'm telling you, they have no money for a venue.
Nah, that sounds crazy. But see, this is the other thing with the whole Rona 19. I feel like, isn't it more dangerous as a safety precaution to put a fight outside? Like, because if it's indoors, it's more of a controlled environment. Like, you look at top ranked fights, people have failed for the COVID stuff, and it's in a bubble.
Yeah.
So if you're outside and it's just elements, like, isn't that more dangerous for the pandemic that we're in if you're just outside? Like someone cough in the air or something. You know, I don't know. I never heard no
here's the thing. Whenever it's indoors, when it's indoors, they can test people. Like they can give you check your temperature when you're coming in the building. What fans they do have. Mm-hmm. When it's outside, you can't do this shit.
Yeah, it just seems like more, to be honest, more dangerous during the times we're in with the pandemic.
And I mean, let's say that, you know, I don't know where in Oklahoma they're gonna put this fight, whatever, what street. But what are you gonna do with the buildings that are there? You're gonna block their view so you can't see the fight? Because if I worked in those buildings where I lived there, I'm watching for free.
You wild.
Yo.
And the thing is, I don't know if Eddie Hearn grasps the like America, that's where they did the Trump rally, and then he has like Julio Cesar Martinez and Arroyo as a main event. I don't know that. You see what I'm saying? I don't know Tulsa, Oklahoma for boxing. You see him as like a boxing capital. So it just seems like a random location to even have picked.
I don't know Tulsa, Oklahoma for anything, and I used to live in Texas for 7 years.
Only famous boxer, famous fight I can think off the top of my head from Oklahoma is Tommy Morrison.
Oh wow, that's hilarious. No, I think Siseido from OKC. Alex,
I'm not even trying to make a joke. I'm just like, you know, because I'm you know, it's yeah.
It is what it is, man. Yo, Eddie Hearn is just Eddie Hearn is doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But I'm gonna wrap this one up because we've been going for a minute. Any last thoughts, real brother?
Listen, all my people out there, Ego Army, y'all are amazing. I appreciate y'all. Ego, I'm thankful for the opportunity to even have this conversation because I'm literally losing my mind without real boxing. It's combat sports, it's okay. I need real pugilists, man. I want to see that squared circle. I need that boxing back. I'm just jonesing right now. I've been watching old-ass Mayweather fights.
Watching the old fights. Yeah.
Bro, I've been watching Larry Merchant and them on HBO when Roy Jones was still fighting. I've been watching the old Roy Jones fights. But basically, I was just saying thank y'all, man. I appreciate the love and the tutelage and being able to just chop it up with y'all because this gives me a sense of normalcy where everything else is fucking crazy right now.
I think we're definitely all waiting for the big fights. Ari, any closing statements?
No, I just want to say thank you again. You know, everybody just stay safe, you know, and just keep grinding, keep doing what you got to do. I wanted to tell you guys, so I just recently joined Twitter for the first time ever. I don't do any social media besides like, you know, YouTube and Discord with you guys, but I just recently joined Twitter like last month. And I think I followed you, Ego, and I followed Icy.
I'll add you. Follow me up.
Mike
Yeah, I think I did. I think I found you, real brother, and I followed you. So
Okay. Yeah, what's your Twitter name handle?
It's
or
just
if you want to put it out.
it's just Ari_boxing talk.
Okay, cool. Mike from Boston, any closing statements? What do you want from Canelo? What do you want from boxing for the remainder of the year?
And I'm doing like what Real Brother said, man. I watched last night. I watched Floyd's fight with Emmanuel Augustus.
That's a classic.
I'm watching old fights, man. Like same thing. I just can't wait to see a good fight. But this shit's cool. I love doing these Zoom meetings because we get to do shit. And since there's no boxing on, I mean.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. We have our own like little hangout and stuff, and we're all in it for the same thing. So I appreciate having you.
Yeah, no, salute to everyone. Like, yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to shit getting back to normal,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get more of a schedule going, so so you guys, because I know I've been like real last minute. Icy, what's your thoughts? Any closing statements or whatever?
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here and be on the panel with a bunch of
y'all making it feel like an AA meeting. Come on, tell me something about.
I have statements to make.
It's cool to be in here with other educated brothers that aren't full of shit. Like they know y'all.
Still
know
feels
what
like an
y'all
AA
about.
meeting. It feels like an AA meeting. Charlo Derevyanchenko, go. Charlo
Derevyanchenko. How about I list? Well, I'll elaborate on Charlo's underrated skill set.
No, we doing a speed round. 15 seconds.
All right.
Charlo Derevyanchenko, go.
So number one, Charlo's a very underrated counter puncher. Number two, his speed is underrated. Number three, his punch selection is underrated in my opinion. He's more than just a 1-2 fighter. I don't know where people get that from.
5 more seconds.
Number four, Charlo's footwork is better than people give him credit for. And number 5, his reach would definitely give Derevy problems along with his skills. So his IQ is boxing IQ.
All right, Charlo Derevyanchenko. Who wins? 15 seconds.
I got Charlo. I got Charlo.
We on Ari.
I have Charlo stopping Derevychenko. That's what I have. I think he's gonna be the first one to stop Derevychenko. I feel that once he hurts Derevychenko, he's just gonna with his killer instinct, he's just gonna finish him. So I think.
Mike from Boston, you're picking Derevyanchenko, true warrior. Why are you picking him?
I'm picking him. If Charlo wants to win the fight, he's got to use his jab. He's got to catch Derevychenko coming in, and he's got to be prepared for a tough fight with a dirty fighter because we know Derevychenko likes to get in close and use his head. It's too close to call. Even I'd pick Derevychenko, but either way, 50-50 fight.
Staccato, 15 seconds. Charlo Derevyanchenko.
I got Charlo. I say it's going 9 rounds or less. 9 rounds or less. Because Derevyanchenko gotta go through that jab to get in there. You gotta go through that stiff jab, and you've seen him drop people with that jab before.
Matt, Charlo Derevyanchenko or closing arguments?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be Charlo. Charlo needs to do it by a knockout. I think if it goes to the cards, there's definitely a possibility Derevychenko probably might take it. And that's pretty much it. And I want to thank you, Ego, for giving us this opportunity today, man. This is always dope.
I appreciate it. All right, somebody take us out. This is the meeting, the Boxing Ego meetups. Somebody take us out.
I'll say this. I do think Charlo will win by stoppage, and I do think it'll be a good fight. But I don't think it's going to be what a lot of people think it's going to be. I'll just say that. I'll leave you on that. How should I get out of here, Ego? What should I say?
Somebody take us out.
Yo, it was good. It was good talking boxing with educated people to know what they're talking about and they're not here for the cap. Talk to y'all soon.
All right. Holla. Appreciate you guys. Later. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.